I'm going to do an unboxing of the x399 Taichi board. Excuse my room and the mess right now because I'm working on my personal PC plus a bunch of other stuff. It looks like hell right now. It looks like a bomb hit it. And anyway, I've already had this board open. I'm going to point out some things that I noticed. I read up on Newegg that a user had a missing M2 screw, and I actually had a missing M2 screw too, right here, this one, when I opened the box. In my case, it was inside the box, rattling around, so I'm going to point this out to Asrock and let them know that these things apparently seem to be popping out in transportation. I can unloosen it by hand, so I'm not sure if it needs to be tighter or maybe needs a little thread locker in there, but unfortunately they can't really put thread locker in because it needs to be adjustable. So anyway, let's take a look at the board. It's a pretty nice board. So one of the things I noticed right off the bat is the heatsink is pretty much a chunk of aluminum on the VRM. But the first thing I noticed, or second thing I should say I noticed, is that the secondary VRM block is slotted and finned a lot, and it's much larger, and it looks like, honestly, that this block is doing most of the dissipation on this particular board. It doesn't look like it's there for fun. It only has a 3-phase for the SOC, so it's overkill block. So I believe that the heat pipe is actually doing something and spreading a lot of the heat to that heat sink. So that heat sink, I think it's very important. I noticed that they are running pads. I don't know if you can see it, but they're running pads on the heat sink and actually cooling the chokes off too. Now, I don't see it on this side, but I definitely see a pad on the V-Core VRM. So, I mean, it's a very conservative looking board. It doesn't have a lot of bling on it, which is the way I like my boards. It's missing the Gigabyte LAN, obviously. But it actually has more stuff than my ES board. It has BIOS flashback now. I don't know if people realize that, but this board actually has BIOS flashback, which is a nice touch. It does not have my little BIOS chip that I like. This is the soldered on chip, and I believe the fatality is the same. It doesn't have a soldered BIOS chip, or it does have a soldered BIOS chip. That's what I meant to say. Unfortunately, instead of having the little socket for the BIOS chip, which I kind of like. It's not a bad layout at all. It's got, 8 SATA, 2 U2, 1, 2, 3 M2s. None of them are in the first slot, which is nice. I'm not particularly a fan of the BIOS battery being right there because I do a lot of overclocking. I end up having to pull the battery out and just run it without the battery, which I probably don't suggest for the normal average Joe. It's for overclocking purposes only. Just so I can clear the CMOS really quickly. They have a nice little button for clear CMOS right there. There's no actual clear CMOS jumper on this board that I can see. Power and reset's nice. It's got, the header for your USB on your case. That is for shutting the VRM overheat warning off. Of course, with this beefy heatsink, that you're probably not going to hit VRM overheat, but that shuts it off. I mean, it's probably the cheapest board out there right now, except for maybe the Prime, but I don't think the Prime is quite in the class of this board. I think you're getting a lot of value for your money. Just like my fatality board, it's filled with tantalums. Nothing changed. I like the fact that there are no caps here in this area. I think at least one of the other boards is running like your typical caps. If you're going to run on LN2, that's going to be kind of a pain in the neck. So anyway, it's a board and it's affordable, so it does the job. This one is visually appealing to my eyes, and obviously I can shut RGB off on it. So I really like the fact that they did away with the cover on the fatality and went to the taichi style, so that it's not covering the heatsink at all. I would actually probably put this one on just because it says Ryzen Threadripper on the fatality board instead of having that Intel Gigabyte LAN or whatever written on it. So anyway, that's the board, and like I said, this is the only thing I noticed. And just to give Asrock a little credit where credit is due, if you look at the corner of my board, it took a shot in shipping, and the box had the same shot in the same corner. So, I mean, did take a shot in shipping. Let's see what comes in the box. Let me get it out without spilling it. So, you've got your typical postcard, which I don't know. I don't know why Taichi does that. Asrock does that. You got your driver disc. You got your Wi-Fi connector utility manual. You've got your quick installation guide. You've got your software setup guide. You've got your I/O. This is about as flimsy as the one on the x399 taichi. I mean, you install it once and it stays there. It's SATA cable. We've got M2 screws times 3. Got plenty of SLI connectors. That I believe is a 4-way, a 3-way, a 2-way, another SATA bag, and then you got your 2 antennas. So anyway, that's what comes in the box. No thrills, just the basics of what you really need. Nothing more to jack the place up. I kind of like it that way. So anyway, that's the Taichi, and I'll be putting a couple chips in this thing. We got a brand new one right here that I haven't even opened yet, and then of course, before I even open it, I'll just put, my tray processor in. So anyway, that is the Taichi board, and hopefully we'll get it fired up soon. We're waiting on a adapter mount for my Drive X2, because something that's universal for AM4 and TR4, that is the best thing that I can come across right now at this point in time. A lot of the blocks are TR4 only. That block is AM4/TR4 with the adapter mounts, and I need that flexibility for swapping back and forth between my systems. However, I might upgrade the radiator, because the little 220 I got is probably not going to be enough for Threadripper. Luckily, there's a pump inside my water block, so I can get away with it. Alright, see you guys next time.